does that mean? Is it about the second, minutes, and hours that make up a day? Is it a statement on some social movement? Or is it a way for us to think about our human existence? Actually, it's about all of these. But I want to ask you to think differently about how a single moment can have a life-lasting impact. As you start your day searching the daily news, scanning for the latest breaking headlines, I prepare for my day as a public servant, as a city police officer, who's ready to respond on a call where I will meet individuals who will always remember that moment in time. I will not play the role in the events that will bring us together. A crime has been committed, a decision has been made, and an action has been taken. And these individuals will be soon forgotten in the shadows of old news. I'm going to share with you several moments that have had a significant impact on me and these victims of time. It was a typical day, and I responded on a call of a 7-day-old child that was left alone in a baby carrier on the kitchen counter. The neighbors shared that the mother had a 7-day-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old, but we could not find them. While communicating with the individual who found the child, I scanned the house that was scarcely furnished, empty of baby supplies, and no family photos. I immediately removed the baby from the carrier. I diapered him, found him a bottle, and held the infant in my arms as I waited to deliver him to a social worker. As we scanned the neighborhood, searching for the mom and her children, hours passed. So we soon left. The community was angered and outraged, eager to report any sightings of this mom. So it was less than an hour, and we received the call to return to that neighborhood. The mom had been sighted. I am Carol Adams before I can be Sergeant Adams. So as I prepared for my encounter with this mom, I asked her sister to take custody of her children. And then I asked her, "Ma'am, why? Why did you leave your 7-day-old baby home alone?" She responded that she had a mandatory meeting with a social worker that required a long bus trip with 3 small children. So this mother had to do an assessment. She had to decide how could she keep all of her children safe. So she had to look at the 3 of them and determine who would be safest if left home alone, who would not burn down the house, run out into the street, or play in the electrical socket. This mother, doing the best she could with what she had and what she knew. A mother's love. There's always more to the story. Another day, another call. A call out to the scene where a child has been shot and transported to the hospital. As I arrive on scene and survey the area, I immediately determine that the evidence does not support what I've been told, that this child is not going to be all right. As I approach the house, I'm drawn to the floor. I can see all of these little pieces of something on the floor, some with a reddish tint, some with a pinkish tint. So as I draw closer to the floor and I get down, I see that these are fragments of her little skull. A mother working a couple of blocks away has dropped her daughter off with her aunt and uncle. The child is directed to play in the next room, where she encounters a handgun that only requires a small portion of additional pressure to discharge one single round. Pow. An unimaginable moment in time. The uncle rushes from the house. He picks up the mom. He drives her back into the driveway. Lights, sirens, police cars. As this mother watches her child being transported away from behind the police line and a barrage of police officers. Sheer devastation. As I complete my task at the house, I respond to the medical examiner's office the next day. I respond that day because that mother does not want her child to spend the night in the morgue. So as I respond to the morgue, and I'm standing there, and I pull the sheet back, I will never forget the image of that child laying lifeless there on that steel stretcher. I have to touch her little hands to complete my task. But I am Carol Adams before I can be Sergeant Adams. So I did everything I could to honor that mother's wishes to keep her child from having to spend the night in that morgue. I remain attached to this mother throughout the years. I tried to keep her busy by giving her volunteer assignments in the community working with women and girls. But unfortunately, 13 years later, left harboring this significant void of not being able to celebrate her child's prom, graduation, and birthdays, this mother took her life. And I never assume that I understand when I meet individuals in the community. So one final moment in time. We have a young girl who has endured escalating violence in her household between her parents for 12 long years. This girl has played a role in breaking up fights and interceding, calling for the police. And the day came where this terminal violence ended with 5 shots from the next room. Pow, 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 pow. The girl goes to the phone and she dials 911 and she says, my father has shot my mother. A couple of hours later, this girl remembers standing in the hallway and watching hospital staff and police professionals try to decide who's going to deliver the message that her mother is dead. In that dimly lit hospital hallway, that news thrust that girl into an unforgettable moment in time. I am Carol Adams before I can be Sergeant Adams. I'm a sister, a friend, a mother, and a grandmother. And the last story I shared with you makes me the child of a murdered mother. These mothers made the best decisions they could in the moment. And without love and empathy, and they deserved love and empathy on their worst days. My worst day occurred 36 years, or 1,035,269,000 seconds ago. This is about time. Rose Fitzgerald coined this statement, it is said that time heals all wounds. She said, I don't agree. The wounds remain. In time, the mind protecting its sanity covers them with scar tissue and the pain lessens. But the pain, it is never gone. I am Carol Adams before I can be Sergeant Adams, hidden in the shadows. Thank you.